What's up there, Guardians? My name is Poe, and today I am your host for a nice little exotic weapon review. Today we're going to be looking at the PlayStation exclusive, the fourth Horseman. Now this is in fact a special weapon. It's a shotgun that's got 4 barrels because who can settle for just one in this game? And it's pretty interesting. So I'll talk a little bit about that, but let's first take a look at its skill tree so you guys can understand what this thing is working with, sister. So, first things first, Thunderer. It can be fired in full auto mode. It also has arc damage. Move on over to CQB Ballistics. This one is for a not-so-veteran player. You lose impact and range. This one reduces range too, but you keep the impact. Last but not least, you get the increased range and lose stability. Then you have Final Round. The last round of the magazine does bonus damage. Fitted Stock, again, a stability buff, but I'd ignore that one. Hand-loaded. This one is effective at an extended range. That one is very, very important, but the reload, I think, is far more important for a weapon that shoots at this rate of fire. So personally, I say you fluctuate between hand reload and the reload buff. It's your choice. Return to center. Kills with this weapon grant bonus ammo directly to the magazine. That one rarely happens, and even when it does happen, it's probably not going to benefit you in any fashion, so generally that one just means nothing to me, to be completely honest. So, where does that leave this gun? Which perks are best, and why? This gun shoots extremely rapid fire like. This gun just blows through ammunition, so again, the recoil and stability may be something some players want to go with. Personally, I say avoid it. I think the impact and everything like that really matters a little bit more. So I go with the final one, the field choke for the first one. Of course, moving on over to the final one, I go speed reload over the alternative where you have that additional range, but that is good for a player that needs it. The range is really, really important. The only thing is I find speed reload to be a little bit more important because this gun blows through ammo extremely fast. You need to be able to reload to catch multiple people. So in most situations, in certain maps you're going to be using this, you need to debate on whether or not you need to use this. So if you're playing on something like Delphi where you're going to be around the B objective on control, I'd say the speed reload really, really matters a lot more than the range would in that situation because the reload is significantly weaker. Now, if you had some nice gloves that increase the reload special time, I'd say go with the range one. Again, this thing can drop people just like you saw right there consistently while still having that range reduction. You gotta pick and adjust your play style to which one you go with. So honestly, I'd say it's a little bit safer for the average player to go with the range version on the second part of the tree versus the reload, but personally for my play style, if you're going with like a blink build or something like that, it's an incredible way to go with it. So overall, how does this gun perform? Again, this gun is probably good for team deathmatch. Skirmish would not be half bad, but you want to stick to certain close quarter maps because this range is the worst for shotguns, period. So the way I look at it, play on like Firebase Delphi, close quarters TDM is something great. This thing does have its limitations though, because it is range reliant. You have to be really, really close quarters to do this. So in comparison to like the Invective, which is another weapon that's very similar to this and is also an exotic, the Invective seems to perform a little bit better than this one overall. So you have an exclusive that's not as good as another gun that almost does the same exact thing. And then in the same category, you have legendary raid weapons, including the new Crota one, and with the Swordbreaker. And you also have, of course, the previous raid weapon that is the Found Verdict that still outperforms this gun in most situations. So, is this gun worth using? As it stands right now, the gun is extremely weak. The range really hurts it a lot. This thing shoots compliments and handshakes. It's not too impressive. Literally, it blows kisses. It's so intimidating. Rawr. So, the one real thing this thing's got going for it is it's really cool looking. Of course, looks don't kill. Occasionally they take all your money, but for the most part, that's not really something you gotta worry about right now. There's a Glimmer Farm for that. But the way I look at it, the gun looks awesome. It does need a buff. It's not nowhere near, like, the weakness power that you have from, like, the No Land Beyond. So it's not completely useless. There are just many better alternatives out there. The Found Verdict poops on it. Some good hide and seek and other weapons out there can easily poop on this one. It's got a significant rate of fire, but the range is seriously a hindrance to this weapon. So in the end, if you feel excited, you got this weapon. This is something that I think needs a severe buff in the future. How they're going to do it, I don't know. I feel it does need the range. It needs to be on par with that of at least the Invective. So we'll see where that comes. I do love the iron sights. As you can see, you're looking into it. It's extremely cool to look at. And I would recommend for people that are using this weapon to actually aim down sight, to focus that spread, that cone, so you are more on point with these shots. And I find that when I aim down sight, just a pro tip for you guys, when I aim down sight, I find that the recoil is much more manageable. So again, that's your call. Personally, I figured to work with it a little bit. This gun does have too much recoil to just hip fire it. So that's one tip that I can generally give you guys. So again, stick to close quarters, stick to team deathmatch, close quarter maps like Firebase Delphi. You determine whether or not the map is worth putting on the reload for. I personally recommend it. I almost always run it that way, but the range is good. Again, if you can get that reload speed from a certain pair of gauntlets or something like that, definitely go with the range perk over the reload one. But again, personal preference, you pick which one you want. Again, it's just an average weapon and an exotic paint job. It's how it tends to be. So thank you guys for your time. Be sure to hit the like button and leave a comment down below about what gun you would like to see next reviewed. Be it, a black hammer, a new raid weapon, legendary, exotic, you let me know. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Go have some fun in the Crucible.